Hello, everyone. I believe we are live now. Very exciting. I don't see any viewers just at this very moment, but that's fine. We're starting about 10 seconds early. What does the counter say? Yeah, 10 seconds. Not bad. Plus, of course, the 5-minute buffer that I have to let people show up and settle in. And incredibly, we're not muted. Something has gone wrong in like every stream before this one that ended up me muting myself for a little while, and while there's still time for that to happen, it hasn't happened yet. So that's good news anyway. So yeah, as I was saying, this time I just don't want to start the stream exactly at midnight, because then it's sort of like a bit jarring. I don't know. Maybe I should do it. If I'm not going like for the time the leaderboard stuff anymore, maybe the slow introductory part can just start at 9 instead of starting at 8:55. Look at, I can't even keep my time zone straight. It's 9 for me, but it's midnight in Advent of Code time zone. So I get those confused a little bit. I don't know. If you guys find this 5-minute thing at the beginning a little bit annoying, where I just sort of ramble on about stuff, like, yeah, let me know. I can start the stream at 9 instead if you want, or midnight, or whatever that time it is. Make sure your mic is unmuted. Yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, 2 different people in chat reminding me. Oh, and someone's speaking Portuguese, right? Hola, amiguinhos? Little friends? Friendies? I don't know. I speak it. Right, that iños must be like the diminutive, I assume. Like in Spanish, it'd be amiguitos, would be like little friends or buddies, maybe. Maybe it's like buddies. Hi, everyone. Still got 3 minutes left. I want to show you guys a couple things that I have done differently here. I've set up the usual Python template here. But also, I gave myself a keyboard shortcut for switching the view in between Emacs and Chrome. Amazing! Look at it flash back and forth. So hopefully, maybe I'll let you guys watch me do actual searching around for documentation, since it's a little bit easier for me than it was to like switch to Chrome and then go to OBS and tell OBS to look at Chrome and then go search, and like, ugh, what a pain. But now it's just like one keystroke, so maybe I'll let you guys watch that. And I also have my Python REPL inside of Emacs. Amazing. And I can just load the stuff from here with one keystroke, well, 2. So it should be a lot easier to experiment and play around than it was in previous episodes. I'm getting feedback from the chat that I am right about. Getting feedback that I'm right about what amiguinhos means, and that I'm wrong about using Emacs. You know, Emacs and Vim are both great. I think as long as there's plenty of other stuff that is great too. I think it's important if you're like a professional developer to be able to use either Emacs or Vim, but it doesn't have to be your favorite editor. You know, people get by with IntelliJ is good, Sublime Text is good. I don't know. I'm a lot less religious about it than I used to be. Is that true? I don't know. I don't think I was ever terribly religious about it. I was religious about Eclipse for a while because it was just so much better than like what I had been using at that time in my life, which was basically Notepad. These days, Eclipse seems to have taken a turn for the worse. You know, oops, sorry about that. If you like Eclipse, like, hey, nothing wrong with that. It doesn't seem as amazing as it did to me when I was, 16, but it's still fine, I'm sure. So again, I hope you guys liked last night's sort of more chill, relaxed solution atmosphere. I had a lot more fun with that. Well, not more fun. I enjoyed it more than doing the sort of really quick trying to get to the leaderboard. I had more fun just trying to solve the problem well and explaining what I'm doing. So I'm going to do that again tonight. No plans to get on the leaderboard. This has a nice side effect that no one can like just copy my code and get to the leaderboard with it. You know, if I were like placing in the top 5, that would be a concern. But even if I'm placing like 90th, you know, maybe someone could hit 99th by copying my code. But if I'm going to consistently place like 400th, that's not a problem. All right, looks like we're about ready to get started here. Yes? Yeah? Come on? Come on? All right, clicky clicky. What do we got? How about a nice game of chess? You're faced with a security door designed. Oh, hang on. Am I not showing you guys this? Let's make sure you're looking at this. Okay. How about a nice game of chess? You're faced with a security door designed by Easter Bunny engineers that seem to have acquired most of their security knowledge by watching hacking movies. The 8-character password for the door is generated 1 character at a time by finding the... Oh gosh, MD5 hashes. Gross. All right. Actually, that's probably not too bad. It was really hard when I had to do something with like MD5 hashing in Haskell, but I bet it's not hard in Python. MD5 hashes some door ID, which is your input, and an increasing integer number? Okay. So like, well, I don't know. A hash indicates the next character in the password if its hex representation starts with 5 zeros. Okay. And then if so, the 6th character is the next character of the password. Okay. So, wait. What is the index? So the first index, some door ID. Okay, if the door ID is ABC. Okay, so the first. So we're okay. The door ID is a salt basically, and we're salting an increasing integer starting with 0, and looking at its MD5 hash. Got it. So basically, let's grab this and put it into our input.text there. Okay, so the idea is going to be we're going to iterate through all of the integers, starting with 0, and map a function over them. And that function will be like basically put this ID in front of the number, call MD5 hash, and then that'll give us a string. And then we'll filter for strings whose first character starts with, for strings that start with 5 zeros. And then we will take the first 6. How many characters? How long is our password supposed to be? 8? 8, yeah, 8 characters. We'll take the first 8, and for each character, for each of those strings, we'll look at the 6th digit. Okay, sounds good. So that's our plan. Seems pretty reasonable. We're not going to want this for line in sys.stdin though. We're going to want like door equals sys.stdin of 0. And let's print door here. Just make sure we got that right. Nope. File object has no dot next or something? I don't know. How do you use an iterator in Python? There we go. Cool. So that's all the input we need to do. And so we need to look up, I guess, Python MD5, I guess. Ooh. Looks like I may need to install a library. Well, I don't know. Maybe hashlib is just already in there. Can I do that? Import hashlib? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's just check hashlib.md5 of x. It's a hash object. And I guess what I need is the hash update, or the hex digest. Oh, I forgot. You guys aren't probably not seeing this. There we go. Great. So that's easy enough. So let's just define that real quick. Def hash of s to be be this. Okay, def valid takes a hash and returns, no S in returns. I was saying it returns, and so I typed returns, but of course my code just wants return. Return that, I guess we can just say hash dot Python string starts with, please. Is there just a function called starts with? Yes. Starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. Okay. And then we can write def I can't think of a good name to describe. Given a hash, give me the 6th character, because that's the thing that should be in the password. Password part of S. Do we really need a function for this? It's just going to be lookup index number 5. But lambdas are so clunky, I kind of want one anyway. Return S of 5. There you go. Did someone just say Vim better than Emacs again? Yes. No, Vim is equal to Emacs. All right. Someone's threatening to copy my solution and make it to the top of the leaderboard. Yeah. Oops, hit some crazy button, probably XN or something. All right, so this is good. We're almost there, really. What we need now is basically just a for. Okay, we're going to want itertools.islice probably, right? So let's write like from itertools import islice, imap, ifilter. I guess. Are those all things that exist? Looks like it. Okay, so xrange, that's the function I want? Yes, all right. So what I kind of want is basically like for, well, in theory I should write this all as one big list comprehension, right? Maybe what I'll do, it's probably simpler to write it this way, and then maybe I don't need all those islice or whatever things. I'll write def password of salt as a generator function. So for I in xrange, does it work the way I expect? Requires 1 to 3 int arguments. Well, what are the arguments to xrange supposed to be? How do I get the infinite range from 0 to infinity? Python infinite integers. Infinite integer list generator. Is there an expression for an iter? Iter. There's a thing. Iter. ITER. What is this? What? I can't tell what this is actually doing. Int always. All right. Well, I guess we need to look up what iter does. Aha! There's a function in itertools called count. In count from 0. Wow. All right. What's count of 0 dot next? We got to import that, I guess, instead of count. All right, what's a count of 0 dot next, please? And then next again. All right, well, I'll just assume it's right. No, that's so bad. List of islice count 0, 0 to 5? Yeah, okay, cool. So count 0 is an infinite list of integers. Great, that's what we want to work with. And we're going to say that we'll let S be salt plus I? No. How do you concatenate? Okay. 5 plus, no, percent plus 5. Okay. So we just want to call stir of I here. And that's our candidate string. Make sure that we're putting these in the right order. What does the puzzle say about this? Yes, we put the salt first. And then we say, let's see. Yeah. We'll just yield an infinite length password out of this function and let something else call islice on it. Yeah. If s, oh, we have hash equals, blah, I don't, candidate equals hash of s, if, what a long name, huh? Candidate, oh, how did I call the function valid? Yes. If valid of candidate, then yield password part of hash. Yes, that seems pretty good. So what we're just going to do is print list of islice of password of door 0 up to 8, and join it all together, right? So we run this and we get an error eventually. Hash dot starts with, hash is null somehow? What? Why? Oh, it's not a method, it's a function. That's something I haven't yet figured out. Is like, there's some stuff in Python that I would expect to be a function that's actually a method on some other object, like join. And then there's some stuff I'd expect to be a method that's actually just a function. Starts with x. Oops. Where the hell is starts with, please? Did I just spell it wrong? Python starts with. I searched for that a minute ago, didn't I? Python starts with string. The string starts with method. S dot starts with of some string. What did I type wrong? All right, I must be passing something to valid that is not actually a string. Try again. Well, yeah, it's none, all right. Okay. Let's try printing s then. It's 0. That's not right. That's not what I wanted at all. Huh. Print salt and I? What are they? They're these two things. Why can I not... Plus stir of 0 yields a meaningful thing. somehow I have... How do you get the type of a thing in Python? Python type of object. Determine the type. There's a function called type. All right. Type of salt. Type of I. Type stir and type int. So okay. So here's my string here. And that's, yeah, I calculated exactly that right here. Right? I said, here's the string, and add it to stir of 0. What's that all about then? It's not like there's any generators that I'm using up by printing something. I haven't made that mistake again yet. I don't have another thing in scope called I or called stir or anything like that. Wait a minute. Oh no. The problem is right here. I forgot. Yeah, okay. I was passing it hash, which again is a thing that was in scope because I imported it from hashlib. Sort of. Well, actually no. It must have been like a language built-in thing. And so I didn't get an error at the time that I used it. No, I didn't break it. Oh, hash. Wait, no, hash is this. Hash was, yeah. All right, I'm renaming hash because I'm worried about all this stuff. What do I call this? We're computing the hash. Let's call it door hash. And this we're calling this, we'll just call this S. Okay. Did that fix anything? No, of course not. S dot starts with is still none. Yeah, well, wait. Of course. So the problem that I had down here, oops, here, is not related to the problem that I was having before I even got to that code. Somehow, salt plus stir of I is none. How is that even possible? Wait, is it none? Where are we looking at starts? I forget. I'm printing S. Oh, it's got a new line in it? Okay, that's the oh, they concatenated together just fine, but it has a new line. Okay, well, that's very funny. Dot rtrim, please. Okay, that might simplify things. At least then I'll know something else is what's going wrong. I thought it was called rtrim to get rid of the trimmer? How do you Python trim new line? What did I guess I can look at a previous solution, right? rstrip. Ugh. rstrip. All right, so that'll at least make me stop worrying about, yeah, okay. This concatenating together was working fine, and I just was ignoring the debug output because I didn't understand it. Okay. Now we can get to a real problem. So S is the right thing, and door hash computed some weird thing, and then we looked at valid. Okay, so print candidate. So that's none, right? Yes. So we can look at door hash then. So this is friggin' returns, man! Languages with expressions versus statements are the worst. So this is running for a long time, which is fine. We're kind of brute forcing a large hash. But I want to try, before I just let it go forever, I want to try like, try it on a shorter, like let's just get the first character to make sure we're actually making any progress at all. It doesn't look like we are. Okay. Fine, so I'm guessing our valid thing is broken. Let's try one of the examples from here. Well, easy, right? We'll just take this string and valid this. True. Okay. All right. Well, that seems fine. So let's say I would write password of what's the example used in here that ABC, and I slice it to 0 to 1, just get the first character, and like convert that to a list or something. This is taking kind of a long time. Maybe it just takes, I mean, like, it does take a while to brute force stuff, but the first index is 3 million, actually. But we should be able to get through 3 million hashes in less time than this. Okay, well, let's check our hash then. Door hash, we called it? Door hash of this string, please. Door hash not defined. Okay, let's recompile here. It's got 5 zeros. Yeah, okay, so... and then we'll say, is that valid? Yes. And password part of this is 1. All right, so it looks like it's working okay, and I just got to be a little more patient. Okay. Well, how you guys doing over in the chat? Not a lot going on with me right now here on the stream, just waiting around. Oh man, I saw this one here and I was like, we did it. But no, I should be looking over here. Okay, so it does eventually yield some characters and I just have to be more patient. So we'll turn this 1 back into an 8 and get crunching. Now, I knew that was sort of wasted time. I did know we were only going to look at the first character, but I just wanted to get some output. And this join, since it's returning a string, is not going to produce any output until it has all 8 characters. And just getting one of them took, I don't know, 30 seconds? So does that mean we're here for 4 minutes? I bet not. I bet Topaz's brilliant solution generator algorithm is one where, like, just somehow by some miracle, the hashes he gives you are things where there tend to be... No, that can't be. If he could do that, I don't know. I guess breaking MD5 is maybe not such a lucrative proposition, but I think he has better things to do with his compute time than that. So I wonder what will be the next part of the problem. Last time, in last year's thing, problem I think 4 was one that asked you to like do basically this very same thing, compute MD5 hashes that started with 0 or whatever. And part 2 was just do the same thing again, but with 6 zeros instead of 5 zeros. So that's a possibility. Okay, we did it. We got a bunch of characters. And let's see. That's the right answer. Great. Rank 399. Part 2. As the door slides open, you are presented with a second door. Use a more inspired security mechanism. Clearly unimpressed. They have worked out a better solution. Why is this hyperlinked? Okay, it's a YouTube video. Well, we won't watch that on stream. Instead of simply filling in the password from left to right, the hash now also indicates the position within the password to fill. Ooh, tricky. You still look for hashes that start with 5 zeros, but now the 6th character represents the position, and the 7th character is the character to put in that position. Use only the first result for each position. Okay. So it's not such a huge burden, I think, to to change the code that we have to do this new thing. Oh, the chat has yeah. So there's a bit of a delay. I don't have a streaming delay, but the YouTube buffers for a while before it gives you guys this. So you guys are all now replying to stuff I said a minute ago. Someone's getting the chat's doing just great. Topaz says the hashes he gives us are all reasonable and interesting in specific ways. Test hardware, yeah, max 30-second runtime. Yeah, no. I mean, this is a laptop. You know, it's a MacBook that's a few years old, and it managed to get through just fine. Okay, so anyway, I think it wouldn't be too hard to just change our code to do this new thing with the passwords, but I like to make my function, my program, compute both answers at once, and that should be a little bit more interesting. So how exactly are we going to do that? Well, the first thing is to commit day 5 part 1. Fantastic. So how much of this can we reuse, and how much of it needs to change? Well, I'm kind of glad that we have a password part function, because, I don't know, seems like it could return the 2 parts that we need of the password, right? Both the character itself and what index it should be found at. Yeah. So here's an idea. Maybe what we're going to do is compute a stream of, convert the stream of integers into a stream of password instructions. And we'll have an object that keeps track of both passwords that we currently know and knows how to apply password instructions. And then we'll just keep iterating until that object says that it's ready. That seems like a good fun way to do it. So let's define a new class, cracker, because it's cracking the passwords, guys, not because you should eat it. And it needs a few methods. Do we want it to have an init function, or should we just initialize it? Yeah, let's say def init to be self dot password 1 equals empty string, self dot password 2 equals empty map. Wait, no. Equals range of 8. Is that good? Yeah, range of 8 should be fine, because I'll be putting strings in there. Uh-huh. Sure. Okay. And then we just need to get out of here, Emacs. Indent to here. I haven't figured out how to get the indentation controls for Python, so I'm always just like tapping tab until it happens to go where I want. I suppose I probably, let's actually experiment here. Let's say I said def foo. No, it doesn't know. All right. Def update takes in a tuple of the first character C and I, which is the index to put it at, and we'll have password part return a tuple of that shape. And we'll say if pw1, do we call len? I guess it's len. Do you call len on strings? Python. Well, wait a minute. I don't need to search that. I can try it. Len of 22 is 2. Okay. Is less than 8. Then password1 equals pw1 plus c. We'll just ignore I. And then we'll also say if password2 at index I equals 0, password2 of I equals C. And then the last thing that this object needs is def ready, which returns yeah, we should be able to do this as a simple Boolean expression. Return that len of pw1 equals 8, and how do you Python all list elements predicate? Oh, have you guys, sorry. There you go, there's Emacs. Okay. Well, that's the browser. Anyway, let me show you guys what I wrote. Even though I read it aloud, we defined a cracker class here. We initialized it with pw1 and pw2 fields. We wrote an update function that takes a tuple of a character and an int, and updates the password1 if it's not finished, and updates password2 at that index. Wait, range of 8? No, I don't want a range. I want repeat. How do you call repeat? Repeat 8, 0? Repeat is not defined. itertools.repeat. Yeah, that works, but I actually want it as a list. Python list repeat. Create list of single item. Oh, you multiply, of course. How clever, Python. All right. 0 times 8. All right, not really my style, but okay. Someone in the chat remarks that they forgot to increment I, and so it was taking a real long time because they were just computing the hash of 0 over and over. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so now, anyway, we initialize the two password parts here, and we update them here, and I was in the middle of writing this ready function when I realized that the browser was what was showing instead of Emacs. So check if the predicate evaluates true for all elements. Oh, I don't even need to do that because, oh yeah, I do. Oh, I can just write in, right? It lets me do that in a linear time, right? Like, so what if I said 0 in 1, 2, 3, false, true, okay. And not 0 in pw2. So we now have the password cracker class here that knows how to accept a stream of things to do and will tell us when the things are done. And so we just need to adjust our main function, or actually our password function, I guess, to instead of hammering on the hash itself and yielding characters. Actually, it's fine. It's still yielding password part. Password should remain the same. But main needs to do a little bit more in that it needs to handle a cracker object. So passwords equals a new cracker thing. And then what exactly do we do? We say for, okay, while not passwords.ready, passwords.update. Oh, how do you, that's not exactly what we want to do. Okay, so I guess what we want to do is something like this. We want to take this for update or update in this. And then write c dot, or what do we call it? Passwords dot update of update. And then if passwords.ready, ready, I'm so used to typing read, will print part 1, %s, part 2, %s of passwords.pw1 and passwords.pw2 joined up together, and then raise stop iteration. I don't know, that seems plausible. What do you guys think? Init takes no arguments, one given. It needs a self argument. Well, it's running, it's not crashing, so we got that going for us. It would have been nice to be able to test this a little bit. Assuming that printing... Type update takes exactly one argument, 2 given. Oh, got it. Everything has to take a self. Jeez, I forgot. Self. Self. All right. You'd think that noticing it in init would have triggered, would have caused me to realize that, but it didn't, because I thought, like, oh, constructors are special, they need the self. But no, everything needs a dang self. All right, we got new errors. Passwords.update need more than one value to unpack. Oh, I didn't change the password part function. Password part should return a tuple of S5 and S6. Now, we could have written tuple of S of 5 to 6, but why? And this gives me time to go back and check the specifications. Oh, here, why don't you guys have a look at this too? Check specifications about which things go where. So F is the second character. Wait. So you need to look. Use only, oh, and ignore invalid positions. All right, so we did miss something. All right, well, I missed some more stuff here. So self. Oh my gosh, self. You gotta put selfs everywhere in Python. Fine. Need another one here. Okay, but it said to ignore invalid positions, which is the thing that I forgot to do. So hang on. Instead of indicating hash, the 6th character is the position, and the 7th is the character. All right, so we got that backwards as well. Right. Yeah, so the index comes before the position, so I need to swap those. And also write if I less than 8 and, so I need to check that it's in bounds. Hey, I'm pretty sure I pointed back to Emacs. All right, sorry about that. I forgot it for a while, and then I intentionally said let's go back to Emacs, but it looks like I did it wrong. So there you go. Yeah, if I had a larger screen, and I could afford to keep the preview up on screen at the same time as all the other stuff, I wouldn't keep making this mistake. You know what? Actually, maybe what I can do is put I have a little bit of screen real estate to spare. But I guess every time I switch to my browser, it'll be in front of, yeah, so like my browser is full screen, so I don't see very well, and I have a smallish monitor. And so like the video streaming software is never in the foreground, and so I don't notice that I'm streaming the wrong thing. Is why I keep making this mistake. I don't know. Maybe I'll get a real monitor. But it's just like convenient to have a laptop. I don't know. People are discussing having a more dramatic reveal of the passwords to print out progress one character at a time, whereas I'm just sort of saving it all up. Oh well. Boy, you know, wouldn't it be embarrassing if like I messed up this and like I churned all the way through all of the all the time it takes to burn through a million quadrillion zillion hashes, and then the program crashed because my display code was wrong. That's a good reason to do sort of a one character at a time update. So I could add that to the cracker. If this version doesn't work, then I don't know. I could do that, I guess. Add something to the update function that prints the passwords so far. In fact, I can just take this and say def progress of self to be, do this, self, and instead of 0, we'll use like X so that we can tell which ones are actually done. Where's our in? Here we go. Like so. And here we'll just call progress of self. And down here, we will also call progress on passwords when it's done. Actually, I won't even need to do that, will I? Because it'll print at the end of every update cycle. And then we'll be making some progress. Almost a cool enough update to cancel this run and start it over. Out of curiosity, how many CPUs are we using here? I assume we're just like pegging one of them, right? Like basically, oh yeah, plus another like 2 for the video software. Python's using half of a CPU. Come on, Python, get with the program. I guess OBS is taking it all up. Yeah. Yeah, Eric Topaz has figured out how to write Python. Self of self equals self. Yeah, no joke there. Self is a very important word in Python. You know what we can do? Well, I was going to say we can start another copy of this program. You know what, let's do that. Run this in the background, and then just run this again and see if... Now, of course, I'm using up more CPU, but this way I can see that I'm actually making progress. Actually, I'm basically just doing this to make sure that it eventually prints something. That'll tell me that I'm not totally just spinning my wheels, making no progress at all. And then I'll cancel this, because I don't know if the other program will correctly print its output if it's running in the background. I forget how, like... Whoa, what happened? Global name progress is not defined. Oh, self.progress. I put the self in the wrong place, guys. All right, looks like this one's still not done. It's the right thing to do would be to add a new terminal window and so on, but it would be kind of difficult to make that show up on the stream, so I'm not going to. Man, it is slow going here. Just gotta borrow one of the supercomputers from the office to get this done a little faster. Alas. Hey, okay. Part 1 is 9, part 2 is a bunch of X's, so that's pretty cool. But we've already spent, like, I don't know, 5 minutes waiting for part 1 to finish, so I don't think we should... I don't think we should make this one the canonical. Actually, let's try something. Run in the background, please. They're both still running. And yeah, they're still printing. So, I don't know. We're wasting some... Actually, this is a little bit troubling to me now that I think about it, because it should only be twice as slow to do the second part. Right? Yeah. No, it should be more than twice as slow. I was thinking twice as slow because each possible character update that we definitely give to part 1, we only give to part 2 half the time, right? Because the index needs to be between 0 and 7 in order to be valid. But it's worse than that, because as we get more and more characters, it's less and less likely that each update will be valid. But it should only be 4 times as slow, I think. Oof, geez, we've already got 7 characters in part 1 and 0 progress in part 2. Am I doing it wrong? Oh, I bet I am, actually. At least in the... in this version here, yeah, we're never making progress on that. So, fortunately, though, this is all only wrong for the... for the version that's displaying progress. FG1, like, is it still going okay? Still looks like it's going all right. All right, keep it up, I guess. Run it again. This is riveting footage. I hope you guys are really love watching computers do nothing. I wouldn't mind if they did something instead. Yeah, so of course, well, is it the case? I guess it's not the case that the first update should necessarily make any progress in part 2 happen. Yeah. Looks like it didn't. Half of the updates should do something to part 2, I guess is what I'm getting at. But none of them are. I mean, this could just be luck, right? We could be losing 2 coin flips, no big deal. 3 coin flips is getting a little unlikely. Oh no! Oh, I figured out why it's not working. Cancel. I equals int of I. Alright, let's run it again. Apparently, testing whether the character 5 is less than 1, or is less than 8, just returns false. And so we were never making any progress. Well, I'm glad we thought to write up that cinematic password cracking view. Thanks, chat, for just mentioning that you were doing it, and I was like, hey, I had time to kill, let's try it. Yep, there we go. That was the problem. Part 2 was never making any progress because we were treating the index as a character instead of as an int. And apparently, if you test whether a character is less than an int, you get false. Which is like, I'd rather have an error, and Python raises errors for all kinds of things that are invalid error. Okay, well, fine. I guess we can't do this necessarily. So if I is less than 8, int of I, int of I, there we go. Gross. It's doing so much more than nothing. Computing millions of hashes. Yes, you are not wrong in the chat. Okay, this final version, guaranteed, 100% gonna finish, no errors. You got it, live on stream. So one way, incidentally, that we could make a bit more progress, I don't know, is if we were to output to standard out like a little bit more state about how far along we are, and like figure out how to get our program to resume from a previous state somehow. All right, looks like we've overcome whatever hurdle there was in the previous version up here. And now we just have to actually wait. It seems to be going okay. Yeah, so I guess let's test that while we're here. 5 is less than 8. False. Like, that's the kind of thing I'd really love to get an exception about. You know what I don't want to get an exception about? Is like, well, so there's, I don't know, what I have been programming for the last several years is Clojure. And one of the Clojure guys, I don't know. Some of this is like just a philosophical thing about like language design, and there's 2 reasonable approaches. But coming from the Clojure and the JVM, I'm used to thinking of exceptions as like serious issues, like, whereas there are some cases where Python just uses exceptions as like, yeah, this is kind of a normal thing that'll happen, and that's control flow, like the stop iteration exception. When you reach the end of a lazy sequence, you should throw an exception, and someone will catch it, and like that's just how things are. So like one thing is that if you look up a value in like let's say you have a dictionary in Clojure, which we call a map rather than a dictionary, but whatever. That's like a dictionary, and you look up an item that's not in there. I look up the key Q, and there's no key Q in the hash map. You just get nil back, which is like none. Whereas in Python, if you do that, you get a key error or a key exception or something. Hey, are we done? Apparently, raising stop iteration is not what I was supposed to do, but we did get our answer. Here we go. Let's let you guys watch as I do the ceremonial typing in of the number. You guys are able to watch, yeah? Yeah. All right. Submit. All right, rank 472. We did it, guys. Anyway, what I was saying is that, like, okay, let's make a little map here. X equals A1 x of b? What is it, guys? What's it going to be? Key error. Like, it seems weird to me that this should raise an exception where comparing a number to a string just says false. Right? Like, anyway, the guy I was talking about in the Clojure community was saying, like, you know, in Java, in Clojure, you say, you know, what's the value in this map for the key B? And it's like, there's no value. That's fine. And whereas in Python, you say, what's the value in this map at key B? And it says, how dare you ask such a question? Now die. Right? You know, a little dramatic. But it's weird to me that a language so strict about looking stuff up in dictionaries would be so laissez-faire about comparing things like this. And like, I assume that the reason is so that the built-in sort just happens to work on lists of any old garbage. But I don't love it. Anyway, we did it, and people are making some emotes in chat. I don't really know what those... I don't know. Probably congratulatory emotes, who knows? Well, great. So definitely nowhere near the leaderboard, but that was not the point. How am I actually supposed to stop iterating through a thing? Python stop iterating lazy. Like, what am I supposed to do instead of raising a stop iteration? Python generators and being lazy. I guess we're not actually yielding stuff, are we? That's the problem, is that we're not inside of a generator function, and so stop iteration isn't what we want. Okay, so Python, does it just have break? Am I just supposed to have used break? Yes, break has a, all right. So I should have just written this. Okay, well, we're not going to rerun it again. But we will git add p, and like, yeah, we did all this cool stuff. Day 5, part 2. Great. Git push. Good developing habits. Commit stuff when it works, push it when it's done. You know, I could go on a whole lecture about like how I like to use Git, but there's lots of valid ways to use Git. That's the cool thing about it. One of the cool things about it, anyway. All right, well, there being no more advent of coding to do, I'm afraid that means that we are done with the stream. There's nothing left, guys. Go hang out on the Reddit or something. On the Reddit. I mean, it sounds like on the Reddit. Like, what am I thinking of? Like, I don't know. It sounds worded wrong, but it's actually not, because I mean like on the subreddit. But on the Reddit sounds like those people who say, you know, on. But I can't think of what thing you would say on the when. I don't know. There's some like stereotypical, not idioms, not accents, dialects where you might hear people say the whatever when, you know, normally you might expect just... Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just blathering about language. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.